You're listening to the only podcast that admits they might know what they are talking about.
I hope everyone has a ball.
This is We Might Know Sports with Steffan.
Or I'll just go down there and punch him in the face and call it a day.
Kevin. Gonzaga loses one game and you're threatening him every podcast now. And Cory.
No, he starts working out. Now he's a tough guy.
I am a tough guy.
Oh, he's got that testosterone flowing.
If anybody wants to listen to my podcast on fitness, like this whole pizza in my mouth.
Because you know I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake and chicken. I'm all about that cake. Yeah, it's pretty clear, I ain't no size 2, but I can wrestle, and I can throw you, cause I got that boom that all the fighters chase. All the right punches in all the right places. I'm an Olympian, trying to make the top. We know that Jones ain't real, come on son, make it stop. If you're a foodie, just raise them up.
Alright, so this is episode 14, and I am your host, Kevin, and I, along with Daniel Cormier, enjoyed some cake yesterday. How about you guys? Steffan, did you enjoy some cake yesterday?
A little bit of chocolate pie yesterday.
And Mr. Cory, did you enjoy any cake yesterday?
No, I'm working out for our combine.
Gotta keep on.
I'm keeping it trim.
You know, it's almost like I'm a professional broadcaster because it's like our first topic of the day is also about Daniel Cormier and his weight issues.
Oh.
Oh.
How impressive.
Professional broadcasting.
Golf clap for you.
So just when we thought we were done talking about 210 and the debacle that was Towelgate, Anthony Rumble Johnson decided to put I don't know how to describe it. I'm just going to say suing basically the UFC in New York State Athletic Commission for messing up the weigh-in. Did you guys read about this at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure did.
So in a statement that was later taken down by Anthony, formerly Rumble Johnson, first and foremost, he says he doesn't want DC stripped of his title. He beat him. However, he does want 20% of his profits from the fight. So he feels that it's definitely not about the money. That's for damn sure. It's the principle of the situation for you knuckleheads that have no brains, is how he ended that statement. That was a lovely little statement he put out that ended up getting taken down later.
So what I don't get is if it's not about the money, why throw in the 20%? If it's just about the principle, then you should just be, I just want the right thing.
Then you shouldn't worry about the 20%. You should want DC docked some money, but not the money that's going to you.
Right.
Well, I agree with you guys. I mean, it's interesting to see this. Like you retired, you lost, and now all of a sudden you are deciding to contest something that should have been contested before. He's claiming that it's because he wanted to focus on the fight, but I'm not buying that. I really just want to know what Rumble's other job is, or excuse me, the artist formerly known as Rumble Johnson.
That would, as it seems like he needs a down payment for his next venture.
Has it come out what he's doing next? Do you know?
I haven't seen anything.
I still keep hearing football related, but not necessarily a player. So I don't know what that would entail.
I couldn't see it being like business sense because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have anything to do with any other business.
Like I said, I really think acting is in his future. He's been in movies before.
I mean, you've got Rampage. He went on to do some things, and
Yeah, he was Mr. T in the new A Team.
yeah, that was a huge hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it did like 1 million.
Yeah. I know I didn't see it, so
I didn't see it. I didn't even know that he was Mr. T.
I did, but I'm kind of a movie person.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
All right. So, sticking with the MMA, it's nice to open up with something other than college basketball.
Not really.
Mr. Demetrius Johnson ended up tying Silva's record of 10 title defenses. A little bit of controversy in this fight, but in a different reason because of who or how the UFC is handling their belt situation. Because he's defended the belt 10 times, but only has one in his possession. And he wants to make a picture like Mr. Mayweather and another boxer have done in the past that shows their accomplishments. So after the fight, once again saying about his issues, he decided to take the one he wore home. So now he's got 2 of the 10. And Dana White in a post-fight interview did mention that he's going to get him his other 8. So some rights there. But I did find it interesting that Daniel Cormier, I can't get off of him apparently, has all 3 of his title belts from his defense because he was wearing it on an interview, post-fight interview a couple days later. So interesting stuff going on in the UFC. Favoritism? I know, shocking.
I think you're a little obsessed with his physique there, Daniel Cormier's physique, and that's why you just keep bringing him up.
Well, he is just so sexy. All that Popeye's chicken.
Honestly, I didn't even know that they. So what do? They bring out a new belt every time that they defend it.
Usually, it's only for if someone new gets it. They at least get one because I know John Jones likes to carry around his one.
Right.
Well, used to. I don't know if you'll see that one again. I think that card got played out with his recent suspension.
Right.
So I don't know. I'd like to see the picture. It'd be pretty cool to see 10 UFC title belts. He's basically just saying, you give Conor all this attention with his 2 fucking belts, and you're not going to give me 10. I've defended my belt at least.
Well, the real question is,
What was that real question? Sorry, you cut out.
did Anderson Silva get 10 belts?
I don't know. I did not see any of that in the articles I was reading about it. So
yeah, but isn't Conor McGregor, his 2 belts is 2 different weight classes, isn't it?
yeah, but even then they struggled. They actually took the other championship fights belt. I think it was I can't even remember actually. Woodley's belt. Woodley gave him his belt basically so they could get that picture.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, it makes sense. It's an expensive piece of equipment. And
Right.
I always would think of it as something that gets passed from champion to champion more than you get to keep it.
Yeah. That's what I always thought it was. I thought you just pass it on. Once you lose it, you lose it.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe even just getting replica.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, get like a replica that you keep of your own.
Yeah.
Dana White has said that Anderson Silva is the greatest fighter of all time, but now with Demetrius tying him, do you think there's room for conversation yet? Kevin?
So Dana White, after the fight, said there's no doubt that Johnson's the greatest fighter now. And he also went on to say some interesting things about him moving up. He thinks he shouldn't move up, which is I find interesting since they're struggling for star power as is. And you've got a potential guy here in Johnson fighting Cody Garbrandt, after Cody's next fight. That'd be an interesting matchup. That would definitely be on pay-per-view and not on Fox. I mean, at this point, why not throw as many super fights as possible?
Mm-hmm.
Because any division you look at, there's not one division that has like multiple contenders for any title. I think now would be the time to do it, make that money.
Right. So do we all think that Demetrius Johnson is in the top 5 greatest MMA fighters ever now?
Absolutely, because if you watched the fight last night on Saturday, he was like, he could have easily just bashed on his face and waited for the ref to call it, but instead he was like, nope, I'm going to grab his arm, put him in an arm bar, and submitted him. So, I mean, he's just the complete package. He uses whatever energy he has to figure out his opponent and uses it well.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's like the best pound for pound fighter or anything, but he's up there.
You still think McGregor because he's in 2 weight classes?
Yeah.
And really skipped one, I guess, because he was really fighting a welterweight.
It's a little bit of a push for Conor McGregor because he's never defended it. He's never defended his belt, so you can't really call him the best pound for pound fighter.
And Nate wasn't ranked in the top 5 either at that time. He just
I'm a huge supporter of McGregor. I love his style. I love his energy. I love how he takes his losses as well as his wins. And until he defends his belt, I can't list him as best pound for pound fighter.
He still has two belts in 2 different weight classes.
Yeah, because they gave it to him, though.
What if Conor does Mission Impossible and knocks out Floyd Mayweather over the summer?
Does he get those belts or
No, because Floyd relinquished all his.
Okay. Then all of a sudden becomes the Muhammad Ali in the boxing world? Is he going to take on that, what's his face, that fell over the ring, landed on his head in his last fight, the 47-year-old?
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins, the 50-year-old.
Yeah. So, do you guys have anything else to add? Or are you sticking with Floyd or Mr. McGregor there, Steffan?
I'm sticking with McGregor until I don't know.
Steffan, I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Put me on the spot. Come
Who's
on.
the top 5 MMA fighters right now, then?
Oh, don't even get me started. We're going to throw McGregor numero uno.
Where's Cormier?
We'll probably throw... I'll even throw this little guy, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson.
Little guy.
This little midget guy.
You should go check out his gym when you come to Seattle.
I feel like he should be in, like, I don't know the politically correct word, but little people wrestling or something. That's where I feel like he belongs. And but I'll say he's number 2. Or 3, we'll probably go number 3. Probably gonna go with. Are we going all time or right now?
Right now.
Oh, right now. Okay. Let's throw out a hypothetical. It could be John Jones, maybe. John Jones might be up there. And, number 4, just because he's relevant right now and actually fighting, we'll throw DC in there. And then number 5, we'll probably I don't know. We'll throw Nunez. Why not? Throw her in there. Top 5.
Kevin is loving your rankings.
Oh, my head hurts.
There you have it. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
We
MMA
Might Know
top
Sports
5.
official top 5 rankings.
This is why we have MMA panel of experts. That doesn't include you, Steffan.
I'm like the overseer of the panel.
Hey,
of experts,
rankings.
so.
Rankings are completely subjective. No one can say he's wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, You did put Jones above Cormier because, Jones has beaten Cormier. Cormier hasn't beaten Jones. So I guess there's some subjectivity there, even though Jones hasn't fought in 2 years.
Doesn't matter. Still better fighter.
Innocent until proven guilty. So I guess you're good until you're proven otherwise, huh?
Yep. Then the fifth one, I couldn't think of anybody else, so I had to throw Nunez in there. I don't know.
Well, I'd say I never pronounce his name right, but Khabib has got to be up there.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Nurmagomedov, whatever his name is, Kevin, you know him.
Nurmagomedov?
Yeah, isn't he in the top 5 probably?
No, because he
hasn't proven anything yet.
He's number 2. He was number 2 in his weight class, but then the whole weight cutting issue and having to cut. And now I believe.
Well, Tyron Woodley has to be up there then.
Yeah. I wouldn't put Woodley in because he hasn't really defended. You got all these new belt holders. You could easily slip one or the other. You could throw Michael Bisping in there, even though he hasn't defended his belt. You could throw.
What about Dos Santos?
Yeah, Dos Santos isn't fighting. He doesn't have a belt.
Is he going for one?
Yes.
What about Cody?
Miocic.
Current right now.
Cody just defeated Dominic Cruz, so he hasn't defended his belt yet. That's not until probably July.
I mean, I would even throw. I'd throw Anderson Silva even up there, outside looking in, number 6.
What happens if St. Pierre comes in and just demolishes Bisping?
Outside looking in at number 6.
You guys have your own conversation.
I think Nate Diaz is number 1.
Everyone shit talker, that's for sure.
Oh man,
there was another fight on Saturday night that was of interest, at least to me, and that was the Namajunas fight. See, I learned her last name.
I just call her Rose.
Rose Namajunas submitted Watterson, or AKA the Karate Hati, and Rose, from the parts I saw, was pretty dominant over the Karate Hati. Wasn't really a good matchup. And afterwards, Rose called out the current champion, Jacek. Yeah. This is what happens when you introduce like Polish and all those fun last names to pronounce into fighting.
So what are you saying? We should keep it American?
Yeah. This is the U.S. EFC.
And you sound like a Trump supporter now.
Just come up with easier last names. That's all I'm asking for.
Make the UFC great again, right?
Make it great again. I mean, look at that. You got Joanna Jacek versus Andrade for a belt.
Yeah.
On May 13th.
It's easy to say.
Miocic versus Dos Santos. I'm pretty sure no one could really say Miocic without hearing it first. So
I could have said that.
Isn't it Miocic?
Ooh.
Debatable. It's like Gonzaga.
Or Cormier.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Hey, I got it right this week. Okay.
No, you just said. I just heard you say Cormier not too long ago.
Well,
go back and listen later.
If you listen at the beginning, I said Cormier. So
yeah, well then you switched it up and went back to Cormier.
So there is another fight. Notice how I ignore Steffan. There is another fight this Saturday. Nothing too special. You got Cub Swanson fighting Lobo. The Russian
Hammer.
You guys want to throw it up?
I'm not going against the Russian Hammer. I'll tell you that much.
I'm gonna go with Cub Swanson because I was a big fan of him back in the WEC days. For people who watched that way back when.
Nobody watched. What the hell is the WEC?
That was the smaller weight classes. They were on a different station while Spike was promoting the upper classes.
Yeah. I think it's Cub Swanson's first fight in a while because he's fighting someone that's unranked.
So he's not going to be ready for this.
In Nashville, Tennessee. They threw St. Preux, I see, on this card as well, since he used to be a Tennessee Volunteer football player.
Oh, nice.
Some interesting names on here, though. Dotson.
Oh wow, John Dodson still.
The
This is where he is now.
On the FS1 main card. Jake Ellenberg.
Ellenberger.
And then,
Yeah, but look at Mike Perry, man. He's platinum.
I
9-1.
feel like we talked about Mike Perry on a previous episode.
Kind of want his haircut.
And then there's a 2-week break. Junior DeSantos, Steffan's number 4 fighter or 5 fighter, debatable.
He's up there.
Is
5,
thinking on Stipe Miocic for the championship belt. And
You're gonna find out real soon who the hell Dos Santos is.
And it'll be interesting to hear what Joanna says post-fight if she wins towards Rose Namajunas.
Joanna's coming off of fighting another Polish fighter, right? It was like, yeah.
That it was an Ultimate Fighter fight, actually. And I guess there were some words, and there's still some words after the fight, but
well, one of them came straight over from Poland for that fight. Was it her? Was it Joanna?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
I think Joanna trains in New Mexico, if I'm right.
Oh,
maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me. Just quote Steffan.
Yeah.
I'm kind of liking this Joanna. She's kind of cute.
Frankie Edgar is also on the main card after losing the interim title to Jose Aldo. This is his first fight back, so that'll be fun. We'll go over this card more in detail the week before.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I know. I want an updated top 5 from you.
Updated top 5? Okay. We'll see how this Dos Santos fight.
Steffan's weekly top 5.
Highly debatable, always interesting to hear, though.
I'm going to do a top 5 of a different sport every week.
Okay.
It's my new bit.
We'll look forward to that segment.
All right.
Before we get into some major League Soccer, major sports playoffs that got underway, there were some headlines, including one involving one of Mr. Cory's teams. I don't know why I keep calling you Mr. Cory. So.
He just has that.
Misses.
He just has that dad look to him, you know. So
yeah.
You gotta give him some respect.
So North Carolina is trying to pass a bill which would basically counteract moves that the ACC made earlier when they passed that bathroom bill that ended up getting repealed. And
it wasn't the ACC. The NCAA made that.
The ACC did too. They moved their football championship out of North Carolina to Florida. Orlando.
I thought it was more the NCAA was telling them they had to do that.
Nope. It was an ACC choice.
Well, I know the NCAA is also like they're not having anything. They won't do anything there, like any championships or anything.
Yes.
So, anyways, go on.
And so this bill basically will make it so if the ACC does this stunt again, they will force UNC and NC State to leave the ACC, leaving behind Duke and Wake Forest because those are both private institutions, so they don't have to abide by state rules like that. So what do you think about this story, Cory?
Well, I think it's unfortunate that the state has that kind of, or the ACC, I should say, has that kind of power. The state, has the power over the ACC, I guess I should say, because I think the schools should be allowed to, or conferences should be allowed to their own rules and do their own thing. Plus, the whole bill I thought was ridiculous anyways. I totally agreed with the NBA moving its All-Star game out of there, too.
I feel like I don't think that they really have the power over the ACC. They're just basically, I mean, they're trying to gain that power over the ACC, I feel like, by doing that, by basically forcing the ACC's hand. And because obviously I don't think the ACC wants to lose North Carolina. That would be probably a pretty big blow for them.
No one really cares about NC State.
Yeah, I mean, NC State's whatever.
Sidebar, where does North Carolina go?
Yeah.
Probably WCC is my guess.
Does any conference really want to pick that
We'll
up?
take them in a heartbeat, I'll tell you that much.
Because then they'll have that whole backlash from basically supporting that bill.
Right. Yeah, I think this just turns into a bigger mess than, I don't know.
Chicken, and it's getting kind of dangerous for UNC fans.
Yeah.
Well, we're already in trouble from what I hear coming up anyways.
Yeah, well, that's just because you guys make up classes. So, all right, moving on to our other headline. St. Louis Rams are getting sued. Oh, wait, excuse me. St. Louis sues the LA Rams.
Wait, do you really call them St. Louis?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, Jesus.
If you can find me in St. Louis.
So basically what's in this story that the complex that was hosting was lied to by the NFL, blah, blah, blah. Basically, do you guys think St. Louis is going to win?
No.
Well, from what I was reading is that they're not really looking. I mean, obviously, they've lost the team. The team's not coming back. But
Also lost an MLS expansion team probably too.
They just want to be compensated for the money that the NFL and the team is gaining from moving to LA. That's what it looked like when I was reading. Will they win it? Probably not, because I feel like the NFL just owns that. Like, I don't know. NFL just has a way of shutting people up.
They're the biggest business in this country. No one's going to push them around.
Yeah. So I don't
Louis.
say anything.
Unless you're a concussion expert.
Yeah.
Hey, he got pushed around too for a while.
For a long time, yeah.
Still haven't watched that movie.
I haven't either.
They get Cory's 2 thumbs of approval. Oh, 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to do a segment, movie review once a week.
Movie review.
Sports reviews. Sports movies.
Sports movie reviews.
Next week, stay tuned for. Remember,
We got a whole bunch of new segments coming in.
I'll give you my one and done review, the John Calipari story next week.
We've got the 30 for 30 expert, and then the top 5 ranking MMA rankings by Steffan coming to you next week.
What's your segment going to be? We haven't figured yours out.
I know we're kind of figuring this out as we keep going.
All right, we'll figure
You'll think
yours
of
out
it later.
Yeah, probably gonna be some with the NBA is my guess.
Yeah.
Since we're all doing things we know about.
All right, so let's go into that new segment of the NBA. The NBA playoffs started on Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I paid attention a little bit.
Hey,
I watched the end of the Cavs game versus the Pacers, where the Pacers almost made a shot to win the game at the very end there. Let's pull that bad boy up. Let's go through each of these matchups. I'll ask the questions since I know so much about the teams, and you guys can answer them.
who's gonna win a series?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start with Boston versus Chicago. Chicago won the first matchup, 106 to 102, right?
Yeah.
They play again Tuesday. How you guys feeling about this matchup? Do the Bulls pull out the upset?
Steffan, go ahead. It's your team. Go first.
Well, I don't think that an 8 seed has won in the first round since, like, I don't know. Was it the Mavericks that won or they lost?
The Golden State beat the Mavericks when
Okay.
Golden State was an 8. Mavericks were a 1.
That's right. I remember it had something to do with the Mavericks.
Yep.
That was a while ago, though. Like, I don't remember.
That was when Baron Davis was legit. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So, but I mean, a lot of experts, or not, I don't know about experts, but a lot of people have been saying that the Celtics were underrated as a 1 seed. They didn't come out and play too hot last night. They've got a lot of emotional issues going on there with Isaiah Thomas's sister dying. R.I.P. China. I think they're going to rebound. I think they'll. I think they're going to rebound. If they could start rebounding better, they'll rebound it in this series, and they'll probably win. You want to pick how many games they'll win in? I'll do Boston in 6.
I'm going to take Chicago in 6.
Taking a bold 5.
It's bold because before the series began and before the whole issue with Isaiah Thomas, I would have picked Boston and probably 5. But I think the emotional stuff is going to wear on the team and wear them down. And the other thing that we didn't mention is Chicago's experience. There's more playoff experience than the whole Celtic team. Then you also have Rajon Rondo and Jimmy Butler who have been in the playoffs, and there's something to be said for people who have been there and done that. And I expect over win some. They already got an away game. They just have to hold at home, and I think the series will be over.
What about a 6-pack on that?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. You heard it here. 6-pack.
You have to train hard at the gym for those, Steffan, though. I can't just give it to you.
I'll have to put some extra cardio.
Steffan, did you say Celtics in 7?
6. Celtics in 6, and Cory's got Boston.
Chicago, yeah.
Or Chicago in 6, sorry.
And I said Chicago in 5.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say anything.
Wow.
All right, next matchup.
Kevin really doesn't know anything about the NBA, I guess.
Mr. LeBron James. We'll see. At least mine has an opportunity to happen. So.
Mine doesn't have an opportunity to happen?
I mean, compared to your MMA picks, yeah.
My MMA picks, some of those picks I make are right. My top 5 might not be right, but when I pick the winners, yeah, some of those actually work out. So, all right, Cory, you lead off on this one.
Cleveland versus the Indiana Pacers. Cleveland won by 1 point. As I mentioned earlier, a missed shot at the end. Do you guys think that was a foul at the end? Or I was actually surprised to see a foul called in the NBA.
I don't think that was a foul at the end, no.
I didn't see that. I saw the last shot, but was the foul right before that play?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. So I can't tell.
Reset the shot clock.
Oh.
All right, go ahead, Cory. Talk about this matchup. What should I watch?
I think, well, first off, I got Cleveland in 5. And the main reason is depth. I don't think the Pacers have enough off the bench to help, or enough help in general for Paul George. Cleveland, I mean, I knew they had made moves throughout the year, but more I was paying attention. People who coming off the bench, Richard Jefferson, Darren Williams, Channing Frye, Kyle Korver. I just think they're too deep. There's too much there for the Pacers to compete. Even though this was a close game, but Paul George played a hell of a game to even keep it close. So
do you don't think that LeBron carries on his streak of not losing since like 2014 in the first round?
In the first round, no, because I'm giving Paul George credit because I think he's that good that they'll at least win 1 game at home. That's why I said 5.
I'm gonna go with. I want to pick the upset, but I don't think it'll happen. I'll go Cleveland in 7.
Why is it going to be so tight?
I mean, the first game could have gone either way. I mean, that game, they could have easily lost that game. So this could easily be in Indiana's favor right now. And I've told you outside of the podcast that I like the way they're playing now with Lance Stevenson back.
Yeah.
I think they're a completely different team than before he got there. So I think it'll be a good matchup. I see Paul George going to work. Hopefully he can get some last shots, even though he's like 0 for 13, I think, or something for game-winning shots or in the last 10 seconds. So I don't know why.
Maybe they should give it to Lance and not CJ Miles.
I don't know why he wanted the ball so badly, so he could be 0 for 14, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I think it'll be a good series. It'll probably be 6 games, but I'm going to go on a limb 7.
What do you got, Kevin?
So I'm going to go Cavs in 6. I'm going to play the middle.
There you go.
All right, moving on to the Toronto Raptors versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Didn't I pick the Milwaukee Bucks? I feel like I picked the Milwaukee. I don't know.
No, I think you're bullshit.
Let's start off with my prediction. I think it's going to be a nice, tough matchup between these two teams. Actually, no, I'm going to go with Bucks sweeping the Raptors. How about that? Let's go with that.
Wow.
Steffan, what do you think is going to happen?
That's a bold prediction, my friend. Bold.
I like it, though. I like it.
I'll say Bucks in 6. I like that Bucks team.
Steffan and I are on the same page. I got Bucks in 6. Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan just seem to always choke when it comes to playoff time. I don't know what's going on with them, but it's like clockwork that they choke. And mainly Lowry. He's a superstar all year and then just chokes. And Tentacumpo is the real deal.
Yeah. If that dude was on a better team, that it'd be insane.
All right. And then in the last matchup in the East, the Atlanta Hawks versus the Washington Bullets. The Wizards. And the Wizards won the first game 114-107 on Sunday. Their next game is on Wednesday, live on NBA TV. Not a sponsor. Hashtag sad. Who are we picking?
This is the first one I think is going to be a clean sweep. I think Washington's head and shoulders better than Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta has any kind of answer for John Wall or Bradley Beal or the rest of the team.
I agree with you, but I think that Atlanta led for a good chunk of that game. And I think they just lost it right towards the end. But I think Atlanta will find a way to steal one game. I'm going to say Wizards in 5.
I, too, will go Wizards in 5. What?
So apparently I'm the one picking the good predictions here because I've got people copying me after I say them. So
Yeah. So who do we feel is going to make it out of the East?
We're already there, huh?
Well, do you want to do the whole tournament, or did you want to?
Well, we can do each round whenever it comes. I don't want to do it all right now, but when the next round comes, we can make our predictions. But we can. We could still. You could think who you're or pick who's.
You see what I got on. I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah,
all through the East.
Who are you picking, Steffan? Am I going to be the decision maker, the non-biased fan?
I don't think Boston has it in them this year. I don't, unfortunately. I'm not impressed with Cleveland.
You're picking the Bucks. You're going wild.
I'm gonna go real wild. I'm gonna go with the Wizards.
All right.
The Wild and Wizards.
I'll stick with my Milwaukee Bucks.
There you go. Fear the deer.
All right, moving on to the West side. Golden State Warriors versus Portland Trail Blazers. I watched a little bit of this game. It wasn't even close. 121 to 109. Golden State over Portland in the first game. We have a clean sweep like I'm going with for Golden State.
I'm going with the sweep. Get the brooms out. I think Lillard and McCollum are great players. More people should probably learn who they are because I don't think they get a lot of love over here in the East Coast. But they don't have enough help. Golden State's way too deep.
I'll say Golden State in 5. I'll give Portland 1 game.
All right, and the next matchup is San Antonio versus Memphis.
Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, this was a blowout of a game. I feel like San Antonio was always on the good side of a blowout, especially when it gets to the playoffs. I'll go with San Antonio. I'll give them the clean sweep. San Antonio 4.
Cory?
This one, I think that game was misleading. I don't think Memphis really showed up. I think they're going to hold at home. So I'm going to go San Antonio in 6. I do think, like, at the end, San Antonio will steal a game. But I think Marcus Gasol and Mike Conley didn't give a good representation of themselves. And they'll play much, much better once they get home.
All right, I'm going to go Spurs in 5. Can't have too many sweeps on my record here. Moving on to the next matchup, Houston versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Houston dominated Oklahoma City 118 to 87. I didn't get to watch any of this one, but I will go with Houston and in 5.
I'm on board with Kevin because the same thing I said about Cleveland. When I was watching Houston, I just couldn't believe some of the players that are coming off their bench. They have so much firepower. And Russell Westbrook is amazing, but I think he could only win them 1 game on his own. I don't think he's going to be able to win more than that.
So you're going Houston in 5?
Yeah, Houston in 5.
Man, people are starting to agree with Kevin.
James Harden had an awful game, and they still won.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to go with, I'll say Houston in 6. I wanted to take OKC, but they just, I think outside of Russell, they don't really have much.
All right, and then in our final matchup, the LA Clippers versus Utah Jazz. That was a close one on Saturday, 97-95 Utah. So Jazz lead currently, but I am going to pick the Clippers in 7.
In how many?
7.
Okay.
I haven't had a full series yet, so why not?
I know. I'm just trying not to sound like a broken record, so I'm going to pick the Clippers in 6 instead of 7.
I'm going Utah in 7.
There is something about this Clippers team that seems to choke.
All right, and who are we going to pick for our favorites from the West?
Houston.
Steffan?
I'll go Golden State.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm going to go Golden State as well. All right, so We'll probably talk some more. Do you guys have anything you want to add about the NBA playoffs?
No, I just can't wait to hear who Steffan thinks the 5 best players are. Probably Isaiah Thomas, Lance Hardaway Jr., Marc Gasol.
Kevin Garnett.
Something wild.
John Stockton.
Celtics and Gonzaga players. Adam Morrison. Honorable mention all of a sudden.
He's got 2 rings, so I don't know. You tell me. How many players got 2 rings in the NBA right now?
LeBron James.
Okay.
Dwayne Wade.
You're running out.
Tony Parker and Ginobili each have 5.
There you go. All right, on to our favorite sport to talk about, the NHL.
Let's talk about my expertise here.
So I may have gotten distracted last week and forgotten to make us pick our favorites from the Western Conference. So let's take a look at the matchups. They've only gotten a couple games in. Do you guys want to try and do the same thing for the NHL that we just did for the NBA?
Why not?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. So the Washington Capitals versus Toronto Maple Leafs. I did not watch this game, actually.
I watched game 2. That game went till like fucking midnight or later.
Double overtime, right?
Yeah. Shit was crazy.
So they're playing again tonight in Toronto. Series tied at 1. Who are you picking, Steffan?
I'm going to say I'll go Toronto in 6.
Cory?
Capitals in 6. They have Ovechkin still, right?
Yeah. Good name drop.
Ooh, it's like we know something. I'm going to go with Toronto in 7.
Now you're going to start pulling out all your game 7s, your 7-game series.
Yeah, why not?
The NHL's known for them.
This one, I caught the game 2, Montreal Canadiens versus New York Rangers, that also went into overtime with the Canadiens down 3-2. I think they scored the tying goal to go into overtime with 17 seconds left in the third period. That was a fun game to watch. The Rangers took game 1, and the Canadiens have taken the next 2. I believe this is Cory's team to win it.
Yeah.
Remember correctly?
That is correct. And I have the Canadians in 5.
Canadiens in 5.
Their offense is hot right now. They've scored 7 points in 2 games.
7 goals.
7 goals. Same thing.
Steffan, who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to take the Rangers in 7.
Rangers in 7.
I'll let Cory get knocked out early.
I'm going to pick the Canadiens in 5. Happy Mr. Ovechkin's favorite person. He's their top.
Okay.
You didn't know that? All right, moving on to the Pittsburgh Penguins versus Columbus Blue Jackets. Currently, the Penguins lead 3-0. Are we picking Columbus to win a game, or are we going for the clean sweep tomorrow? Cory?
Clean sweep. I'm on the Crosby train. I think he's the best player in the NHL.
Steffan?
Let's say Pittsburgh in 5. I wouldn't say Crosby is the best pound for pound hockey player, but
We'll hear that. And got an NBA list to work on.
Only one sport a week, so you got to pick one.
All right.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in 4. I'll do a clean sweep. Blue Jackets, other than game 3.
They got close there. I think next time they're getting over the hump. Game 4.
It is in Columbus, but Ohio, you got your NBA championship. You're done. All right, moving on to Ottawa versus the Boston Bruins. This series is currently tied after the Senators, Senators, tied it with an overtime win 4-3.
Is that the Ottawa Centaurs or Senators?
Senators. Apparently, they are jealous of the U.S. Congress right now and had to rename their team the Senators.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I think this is the team. I think I picked Boston to win it all.
Probably. I don't even remember who I picked.
That probably doesn't matter.
Steffan, you gonna stick with your team?
Yeah, why not? Boston in 5.
Cory?
I'm going with Boston in 6 just because they're second in goals forced in the East.
Ooh, dropping knowledge.
Somebody did their research.
Trying to learn hockey. I don't know it that well.
I think I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go Ottawa in 6.
Cory, what is it? What does icing mean?
When the puck goes past 2 lines before a player is crossed,
Wow, okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Some crunch games.
Something like that. I don't even really know. I kind of like it has something to do with that. Like, yeah, I don't know how to explain.
Unless that's just offsides. I'm not sure.
No. So what it is, icing is if you hit the puck to the other side and nobody touches it and it crosses all the way down to the other blue line or whatever,
Right.
then it's icing. Yeah. Somebody has to touch it. It has to get tipped or something.
Wasn't that far off.
No, you're pretty close.
The official Wikipedia definition is an infraction in the sport of ice hockey. It occurs when a player shoots the puck across both the center red line and the opposing team's goal line.
There it
The
is.
puck remains untouched. However, it is not icing if the puck is shot from behind the halfway line into the goal, or when the shot must be played by the opposing team's goaltender to keep it out of the net.
It's also not, you can't get icing on a power play either. Fun fact for you.
Offsides is when you pass it to a player without a defender ahead of him, right?
Offsides? No, that's in
This is
soccer.
you might know sports. Learn
That's soccer.
learn how to hockey.
um,
So hockey is essentially there's that blue line before the final portion, and if you pass the puck before, or all the players have to be on the other side before you can bring the puck over that blue line.
Got it.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I know from NHL hockey.
I don't know hockey. I'm here to learn.
you came to the right place.
Good thing this is May. We're coming up on May month of learning. I can't wait for our beer mile special. That's going to be fun, Steffan.
It's going to be a good time.
Learn how to beer mile
It's going to be an exciting month.
with a grand finale of beer mile.
Beer mile.
All right. I got distracted. Did you want to stick with your Canadians, Cory, for your pick?
Yes.
Was that all the games? There was more games, wasn't there?
That's the East Coast. I mean, or the Eastern.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Steffan, you sticking with Boston?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Cory sold me with Crosby.
Just name dropping.
The Western Conference first matchup we've got is the Chicago Blackhawks versus Nashville Predators. Nashville has yet to allow a goal, winning 1-0 in Game 1 and 5-0 in Game 2. So they are up 2-0. And Game 3 is tonight. in Nashville, so both were actually away games too. That's kind of scary for Chicago. I'm going to go with Nashville with a sweep.
I don't think it'll be a sweep, but I don't think Nashville. I'll say Nashville and 5.
Cory?
Chicago is the number 1 seed, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Chicago's going to win in 7.
Ooh.
Again, name dropping, Patrick Kane is one of the best wings in the league.
Yeah, but could it be like a style matchup type deal that we're seeing? Do you think that's why it's out?
It could be, because I don't know that much about the Predators, but I do know that Chicago hasn't allowed that many goals. I can't remember the exact stat on that. So I think it's surprising that the Predators are scoring like this.
Well, the first game they only scored 1, so it's
True,
just the
but
second game.
5-0, that's a big...
I know the second game there was like 3 goals before like the third period, so the last couple of goals could have been empty net goals. I don't know.
I don't see a team pulling their goalie if they're down 3-0.
It might.
Let's
If
put
I
it
was
this...
down 3-0, I'd pull my goalie for the whole third period and just go at it. Let's go.
Out of all the teams in the West, Chicago is allowed the 4th least. So allowing these goals isn't common. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it doesn't sound like they're that great.
Sounds like I'm going to have to start paying attention to the NHL. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, moving on to our next matchup, Minnesota Wild versus St. Louis Blues. Just for you, Steffan.
Yeah.
St. Louis Blues also have a 3-0 lead in the series, having won 2-1 in overtime, 2-1, and then 3-1 yesterday.
If nothing else, Minnesota's consistent.
Mm-hmm. At least they score one. I'm going to go St. Louis with the sweep here.
I'll concur. St. Louis in the sweep.
Throw them a bone.
I'm saying St. Louis in 6. Because Minnesota, on the flip side, is the highest scoring team in the league. I don't know what.
Doesn't look like it.
Obviously, the Blues goalie, whoever he is playing well right now.
Oh.
Brought his A game.
Apparently.
All right, going to Anaheim Ducks versus Calgary Flames. Steffan, did you know the Ducks won 3-2 in both games?
Wow. They're both very consistent.
So who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to say this game, the next 2 games, Calgary's going to win 3-2. Okay? Going to screw things up a little bit. And then Calgary's going to win a third
I can't
game.
even take this seriously right now.
Calgary's going to win a third game 3-2. And then at Calgary, Anaheim will pull ahead and win 3-2 for a game 7, a deciding game 7. That Calgary's going to win 10-2. Calgary in 7.
You sound like a robot.
Then
So yeah, Calgary in 7. I was just letting you guys. I wanted you guys to see what goes on in my brain when I'm thinking about this stuff.
Mhm.
So it's just a little insight.
You know what goes on in mine?
Yeah,
The
let's hear it.
Ducks, they're probably swimming in water. So Flames are not even going to touch them. So they're going to win in 4.
It's good logic.
Oh boy, this is definitely going to be our next intro. I'm going to go Flying V in 5.
Is that because the V comes after C?
Because you can't spell 5 without the V.
Oh, or the Roman numeral. Holy shit.
There you go.
Mind blown.
All right, and our final matchup in the NHL playoffs that we have yet to talk about: San Jose versus Edmonton Oilers. Oilers, after losing the first game in overtime 3-2, have won, actually shut out the Sharks by a combined score of 3-0. So they lead 2-1 over Edmonton right now. Who are you picking, Cory?
You know my logic. And if there's an oil spill in the water, the shark is going to die. It's over. So it's the Oilers in 5.
Can we just go on a side note, though, and answer this little one quick question on the side? Which of the following sports drinks have you heard of? Aspire, Greater Than, Gatorade Organic, or Body Armor?
D, player, none of the above.
I'm going to say I'm going to go with Cory's logic here. And it doesn't say Edmonton Oil. It says Edmonton Oilers. So it's the people that are manning the oil rigs. Therefore, sharks eat people. Sharks will win in 6.
We should try to do this next March. We might actually win money. At 6.
Yeah.
So, combining your two logics. So, Oilers are people that can be eaten by sharks. However, if they use some processed oil, throw it on the sharks, and light it, they will obviously beat the sharks. So, I'm going to go Oilers in 5.
Damn.
Our predictions are fun, if nothing else.
That is true.
It's fun for us. I don't care about the listener at this point. All right, so
Wait, don't say that, because then we're going to lose a lot of listeners.
All right. Well, our whole 0 viewers right now on bated breath because you don't share. You're not a good publicizer.
Okay.
Anyway, let's pick someone from the Western Conference to face off against our Eastern Conference teams. That way we can pick a winner. Cory, you have Chicago, St. Louis, Anaheim, and Edmonton. Who are you picking?
I'm going with St. Louis. St. Louis versus the Canadiens. Montreal.
All that karma coming their way since they keep losing teams left and right?
Yeah, because how do you avoid the Blues? Everyone gets them.
Especially when you can't hold a franchise for too long.
Yeah.
All right, and Steffan, I would like to hear your logic on this one.
I'm going to say I don't really have any logic for it, but they put me on the spot here. Let's go San Jose versus Boston. Just because Sharks, I feel like Sharks are like top of the food chain. Like they just take out everything. So.
All right. And
Sharks don't get sad, right?
Yeah, they don't get sad, yeah. Always smiling.
I feel like Edmonton is going to lay down some oil and slick their competition away, picking Edmonton to come out of the Western Conference.
It was a good thought process to get you there.
Yeah. Do we have any games we should watch? Let's take a quick look. Let's make San Jose Edmonton game 4 tomorrow our game to watch for the playoffs, first round at least.
I'm on it.
It's on at 10 Eastern.
I'm off it.
Yeah, maybe pick a 7:00 game.
Fine. I will pick game 4. Pittsburgh, Columbus on Tuesday at 7:30. Is that a little more accommodating?
All right, I could probably watch that.
And Sidney Crosby is the best pound-for-pound player, so.
No, I don't know about pound for pound.
So my top 5 for NHL all-time players would go Sidney, Wayne, Yamir because he's still in the league, the age of 65. And I don't know, two other. Patrick Waugh, that one's for you. You know who you are. And who would number 5 be?
Probably Mike Madonna.
There you go, Mike Madonna.
Really? Over Brett Hull?
He's before my time. Actually,
Brett Hull was
I was
there
thinking
during
Mario
Gretzky.
Lemieux. I was going to throw
Yeah, Mario Lemieux was on the Penguins, same era.
So that's my top 5, pound for foot. Hey, I'd want him on my team. I'm just saying.
It's a good thing you're not doing the top 5 segment.
Yeah. All right. On to something I can talk about with knowledge. There were 3 games this past Friday in the MLS. Unfortunately, my team lost. The Sounders, if you didn't know. They lost to Vancouver 2-1, losing some points and also the Cascadia Cup. Sad. Atlanta, the new hotness, lost 2-1 to Montreal. So they're starting to slip. We'll show you the standings in just a second. LA Galaxy also struggling, losing 2-1 to Orlando in their new stadium. That stadium's pretty cool. If you haven't checked it out, definitely watch their next home game if you can. They have a wall of standing people full of like 10,000 fans.
The Galaxy do?
No, Orlando. And then Steffan, your Portland Timbers lost 1-0.
Yeah.
So moving on to the standings in the Eastern Conference, Columbus is now on top.
Rightfully so.
Over Orlando by 1. Atlanta's fallen to 6. They haven't won in a while. And then the Philadelphia Union bringing up the rear with a fun 2 points. Then in the Western Conference, Portland Timbers holding on to first place.
Hang tough.
They're undefeated Sporting KC. And
Undefeated
Also,
Dallas, too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
undefeated Dallas. That's
I know Dallas was the hot pick for the experts coming out of the West.
It's debatable. And then you have Galaxy down in 8th, followed by Seattle, Minnesota United, and Colorado, even with their hot goalkeeper, Tim Howard.
Is he really that good looking?
Actually, no. I was trying to make a pun because he actually just got suspended for getting into an argument with a player after the game, the Sporting KC game. Said some expletives, and the MLS suspended him for, I believe, 3 games and fined him. So, moving to week 7, we've got some early games with New England at San Jose, Toronto at Chicago on Friday, and then my game to watch, LA Galaxy versus the Seattle Sounders on Sunday, 1 p.m. I believe that's going to be on Fox. Steffan, your team's playing against Vancouver. Very important game in the Cascadia Cup standings.
Yep.
And FC Dallas and Sporting KC are facing off against each other as well on Saturday. So
Someone's always got to go.
not necessarily, because it could end in a draw. So
Damn you, soccer.
Nobody wants to see a tie.
That's why we have penalty shootouts in the NHL.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Premier League. There were some key games going on, including Tottenham winning 4-0 over Bournemouth, and Chelsea losing to Man U 2-0, which makes the standings even closer now as we are heading towards the final games of the season, with Chelsea only ahead of Tottenham by 4, with 6 games to go.
Do you think they pull it off or what?
It's going to be tight because Tottenham still has to play Man you, I believe, and Arsenal. Chelsea does have Everton, who's sticking around in 6th place there, and I believe they also have Man City to go. So it's going to be an interesting finish to the cup, more so than the past couple of years. So as long as Tottenham can keep on their ways, they only have this tournament. Well, actually, it's a lie. They actually face Chelsea in the FA Cup on Saturday, the semifinals of that. I would kind of rather see them lose that game. That way they can just focus on finishing out the Premier League strong versus last year's stumble into the finish where they lost 5-1 and ended up finishing in 3rd in the standings.
Do they don't play each other again here in the last 6 games, do they?
Not in the Premier League, no.
Right.
The next games are actually happening this weekend. The Tottenham and the Chelsea games are postponed because they're playing against each other in the FA Cup. They'll be playing those games, I think on Wednesday next week. So nothing's really going to change until next week for the Premier League. And that is all I've got for us planned. Do you guys have anything you guys want to bring up?
Our NASCAR picks.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Man, I should probably read the little sheet I got here, huh?
Probably. You want to talk about our MLB Fantasy League?
I guess we can do that as well. I was going to look up my NASCAR pick actually right now. Cory, the race is in Bristol, correct?
Correct. The shortest track. So
Yep.
pick a skilled driver.
I already got mine.
Bristol's all about skill. Doesn't matter how fast your car is.
I'm going to pick the most skilled driver out there.
JJ?
Yep.
Didn't you already pick him?
I don't think so.
I
I don't know. Tell me, did I?
Pulling up the standings as we speak.
Who are you going with, Cory?
I'm going to take Matt Kenseth.
You are safe with your Johnson pick.
I didn't think I took him yet.
It's a good pick. He's good there, obviously.
Didn't he just win, too?
Yeah. Which means if he's figuring out this system, everyone else needs to watch out because it took him 7 races to figure it out.
And who are you going with, Cory?
Matt Kenseth.
Who haven't I gone with? Let's go with Kyle Larson. I feel safe that I haven't picked him. Let's double check. Yep. All right, I'm going with Larson.
Okay.
Number 2 in the standings. Number 1 in my heart this weekend.
Hope he crashes first lap.
Breaking all the stereotypes that Asians can't drive.
All right, so that is the Food City 500. I believe it's on Fox.
Yes.
So you can watch our picks come true if you want. Free advertising, I guess. All right. And Steffan, you wanted to talk about your awesome defeat in fantasy baseball?
I just think that this whole fantasy league is bullshit. If I don't make the playoffs, I'm burning something down. I tell you that much right now. So
Probably need to burn your Steffan's team jerseys.
probably. You trying to knock my team's name right now?
Well, only one person named their team, so
What does that even mean? Campione.
it means champion in Italian.
Yeah, well, none of us are Italian. Are you Italian?
I am.
Oh, you don't matter.
Is it ball 4?
Is it ball 4? Do you guys know?
No, it's ball 3.
Why is this not? No, that's why.
I'm already losing this week too. So this whole system is rigged.
There's only been one game. Give
I
it
don't care.
Stefan, I'm gonna bagel you 10-0.
Yeah, you think so? I'm I'm taking it at RBIs. I got 1-0 right now. All you had was pitchers, apparently. Oh, you must have had a batter. You got an average of 1,000
Perfect.
somehow. But you didn't get any runs, no home runs, no RBIs.
Just hits.
Just hits.
Just single hits.
Just single hits, and then the inning is over. Can't even get in to score a run. I don't know. I'm probably gonna make a run towards the end of the season. We make a lot of roster adjustments. Probably gonna, bring in some minority.
Space.
Probably bring in a few minority owners and get some advertising for the team going. And
Perfect. Maybe draw up a team name or no. Okay.
that's probably gonna be more down the road, like 5 years or so.
You got to get a feeling for your team before you can attribute
Yeah,
a name.
I gotta see what kind of fan base we got. I gotta, probably do like a poll system, see what everybody's thinking of for a team.
Probably got to pick off your team's strengths.
That too, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you got Campione when nobody on your team's Italian or a champion. So
Pretty sure Madison Bumgarner's a champion.
is he?
Yeah.
You're pretty sure. You're not 100% sure though.
I'm 1,000% sure. Just doing a baseball terminology.
Oh, gotcha.
If you can bat 1,000, I mean.
All right. I'm getting tired of these 8-2 wins. It's so frustrating. I wish I could just shut you guys all out.
Well, right now you're losing 2-0, so
Once again, no games have been really played except for the Tampa-Boston game this morning. So a lot can change. Steffan, you could be down even worse now.
Nah, I'm gonna completely reverse that.
Are you gonna start crying again and not run a fantasy football league for us this year?
Yeah, I already said I'm not doing that, so. Why'd you shut off your video? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty upset about last season still, so depending on how this baseball season goes, I'm probably just going to get more upset.
I'm pretty excited about this NFL draft, though, next week.
Why? What are you excited about?
I don't know. I always look forward to the NFL draft. And we're doing our top 10 draft pick predictions, I thought.
Yep. So we get to hear Steffan's top 5.
For the
all-time NFL draft picks probably tomorrow or next week.
Yeah. The top 5.
I thought you were talking about fantasy draft. I was looking way ahead.
No, our the real deal. The real
I
thing.
gotcha. I'm caught on to it now. I'm caught up. Yeah, so what am I doing? The top 5 pound for pound what? Draft picks?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be pound for pound.
All right. So next week's episode is I got my top 5 segment.
Yeah.
Could be the top 5 peanut butters. Could be the top 5 peanut butter brands and Wegmans. I don't know.
Top 5 NFL busts in the draft.
It'd be nice if it was sports related.
Oh, you want it to be sports related? Well, peanut butter is a good source of protein, and a lot of athletes need protein, so I'd say that's kind of sports related.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll figure it out. With all that extra time I'm going to have this week.
The top 5 Gonzaga players of all time.
Could do that.
Well, you have John Stockton, Adam Morrison, John Stockton, and John Stockton. Am I right?
No. That's why you're not doing the top 5 segment. All right.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
It's going to be a short show.
What, next week?
Oh, this show.
This one.
Oh.
It's only 4:20.
Oh, I didn't even realize, yeah. That's okay. We've had a few long ones. Let's cut this one short.
This one's short to make up.
next week we're doing it early, or we're going Sunday night, right? I'm guessing.
Sunday night special again. Should be the last Sunday night special. We'll see.
Look out for Steffan's new segment.
Yeah, Steffan's new segment. We're bringing in a special guest to talk about the NCAA spring football practices that went on this past month. And he'll also talk about the NFL draft with us. I'm sure he'll chime in about the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, how those are going as well.
Not sure how much.
Go ahead.
Not sure how much your expert knows, but there's a kid from Nottingham that just signed on to Villanova football.
Football?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's from Nottingham, so I'm sure.
Oh, so he'll know the local kid.
Also,
Wait, Cory, what was your special segment you were doing?
I do top 5 movies every week.
Oh yeah, top 5 movies.
no, top sports
Movies.
Every week?
No, you're just doing one sports movie a week.
review.
Okay.
One
Jeez,
sports movie a week. That's right.
this is almost as bad as not to be named. All right.
And then Kevin has no segment.
No,
segment.
He
nothing
never
yet.
made one up.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
it's overrated. I have my own show. Why do I need a segment?
Oh, now it's his own show.
Yeah, I can mute you guys if you want. All right. May's going to be fun. As we said earlier, we're going to learn some sports, including the exciting cricket playoffs. I don't know if they're in playoff season, actually. I just assume everyone else is in playoffs.
I
Right?
don't even know if they have playoffs.
They have the World Series of cricket.
Okay, well, that's
More
not
on that in
playoffs.
May. Gonna save all the good stuff for May. Cory's actually drinking a beer this episode. Cory, you want to give out your beer a shout out?
Magic Cat number 9.
Steffan, do you have anything? Good old Air America. Huh? I as well. This is weird. This is why it was such a bad show. Cory was the drinker, and we were. Apparently, you need to tune in to or drink in order to tune in and enjoy this episode. Because I'll probably drink a couple and then rewatch this episode and laugh at everything we said. All right, Steffan, get to working on your beer mile.
Dude, I'm already ready.
Already ready.
Yeah.
Cory, get your combine fitness on.
I'm on it.
I hope you don't owe that 6-pack to Steffan because I don't want you to have to work too hard. All right. For Cory and Steffan, I'm Kevin, and that's been this lovely episode 14.